We are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on The Show Must Go Online. Today's guests are Travis Robertson and Daniella Sapone. How are you two doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm doing well too. Thank you for having us.
Yay. Now, the two of them are with SAY, the Stuttering Association for the Young, which is a nonprofit organization that I absolutely love. I attended the SAY Gala last year and then Paul Rudd's 8th annual All-Star Bowling event. And both of those have just been phenomenal. And then, of course, this year with online, the SAY Under One Moon. How have the two of you felt with everything kind of moving online? And we'll start with Travis.
Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a wild ride of like learning a lot of lessons, particularly learning a lot about how to use Zoom and like how to use the many platforms that are out there. But what's been really great is that, the quarantine came at a time where there was kind of a natural break in our programming year. So it was a time for us to naturally kind of regroup and get ready for the next thing. So I think we were really like fortuitous in that sense. And I think having that break allowed us to not only see the challenges, but like see the opportunities. The Under One Moon benefit is a great example of the reach that we could have beyond having like a physical gala or like a like physical event. I have family that lives in California and South Carolina who have never been to a SAY gala before, and this event they were actually able to tune in, and it was really cool just to have that reach and have that like connection to our broader community. So it's been a lot of learning, and I think there are some great things that will come out of this that might stick beyond quarantine.
Awesome.
Yeah, like Travis was saying about like the natural break in the schedule. Right now we're doing something called the Mentor Project, and we get to like create any type of creative piece where we can use it to like express our voices and share our ideas and things like that. So it's been really cool to navigate doing, a SAY programming activity online, and my group just wrote a song about like this disconnect that we're feeling. So I think that's just like one example of something that we would have never been able to create because we would have never been feeling those types of feelings.
That's such a great point. There are so many negative things going on now, but always finding those positive and ways to kind of turn those lemons into lemonade. It's the memories that you'll remember because this is happening whether we like it or not. And so turning that into, oh, how else can we find a new way to connect with one another? That's awesome. I love that. And yes, finding ways to use Zoom or StreamYard in this case, it is a fun new adventure, and I'm learning new things every single day.
For sure.
And to everyone watching at home, we do have this comment section over here. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can just comment right along any questions, any like exclamation points, thoughts that you have for any of us. That would be great. And we can see them and we will respond. Also, both of y'all will be singing for us, which is phenomenal. And I'm very excited. So Travis, being on Broadway, Hairspray, the first musical that I fell in love with, and the Book of Mormon, which I quote all the time. What were those two experiences like?
They were incredible. I think I was very fortunate in that a show brought me to New York, as opposed to coming and sort of like looking for work. I mean, I had been looking for work for quite some time, before then, but my first kind of like New York experience was coming with a job and coming with like not just a job, but like the dream that I've always wanted. And so, yeah, I don't know that I have any complaints about that experience in my life. I think um, the most rewarding thing about it was being able to have like a clear taste of doing something that you truly love. And I think like for a lot of people, um, that vision might be clear, but the experience, is like yet to be had, or that it takes a long time to kind of get to that place. And um, I, 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 I recognize how incredibly fortunate I had been to have that kind of experience at such a young age in my life. And I think that that set the bar very high for just all the work that I do. Once you like do something that you love, and that even on the worst day, you just want to do it more.
Yeah.
It makes it harder to settle for anything else. And so I think that was kind of a great setup into the work that I do now as well. I really kind of hold that standard of like being excited about the work that I do, and wanting to do it kind of all the time. So yeah, that has been a really great gift to be able to have those experiences.
And it's so phenomenal that you've had two already, right? That some people wait a moment for a moment like this, a lifetime for a moment like this, to quote that fabulous Kelly Clarkson moment.
There you go.
But it's true. Finding what you're passionate about, and that's Broadway reporting for me. I was a news reporter, I was a sports reporter, and I really enjoyed those, and that was great. But getting to cover Broadway and being at the Tony Awards and covering galas, like that is the type of energy that just like pours out of me, and it's been so much fun. And I could only imagine being on a Broadway stage is just, it's something I've dreamed about, something that would probably never happen as like a professional for me, but getting to see other people live their dreams is like just as exciting, I'd say. And it's super cool that you then like transferred that passion to help the next generation follow their passion.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really been great about it, is that this transition has, I often say, like, it's given my passion a much greater purpose. I love performing, I love being on stage, but I also love just the fact that I'm able to show in some way young people who stutter the importance and the possibility of doing exactly what they want. I think in like growing up as a person who stutters, it's easy to sort of allow yourself to settle for the consolation, to allow yourself to say, yeah, that's great, but I should probably do something that is more realistic, or that is more achievable, that is more attainable. And I think I've had a lot of opportunities, as have a lot of people, but I've had a lot of opportunities to quit in my life. A lot of opportunities to give up, to say it's too much, to say I'm dreaming too big, to say I'm wanting too much. And I think there's something to be said that, even if you don't see the path, that your dreams are valid, and that what you have to say in the world matters, and that it's first and foremost possible. There were definitely moments where I was in acting school studying to be an actor and having serious doubts about if this would actually pan out for me in my life, and would I actually be able to do this. But that's a part of that's one of the things that we say we have kind of like a contract that say that a lot of our participants like sign, and these are things like they agree to do, in our programming. And one of them is, I will feel the fear and do it anyway. And there's something really powerful about being able to acknowledge this is hard and and I don't know how this is going to go, but I feel safe enough to step out and to give it a try. So yeah, I mean, that's what I've learned in this journey, and that's what I'm happy to share as well.
Just another reason why I love SAY and Camp SAY, because it just, the mentality is right. It's, you feel the fear and just push on through, because the surprise is that everyone's a little afraid. Everyone has anxiety. Everyone's a little nervous, but we like to tuck that away and say, no, I can do it. And no, I don't feel that. But once you realize that you're not alone, and once you realize that there are other people out there who have the same feelings as you, the same struggles as you, that just makes the bond so much better. And Daniella, that's what I'd love to talk with you about. Being in the Confident Voices Creative Arts program, how have you found that your voice has kind of grown and your confidence?
Yeah, so the great thing about SAY is that they don't really care how you do it, as long as you share your voice and just find what you want to talk about and what you want to say. So we were able to create our own creative pieces, a different one for each session. So I've gotten to write songs, to write skits, and those are things that I love doing on my own. So being able to kind of share that passion and that creative side of me with my best friends, which I found through SAY, has been so much fun. Because even if the kids don't necessarily love to sing, they're still there. They're writing songs, they're performing them for these huge crowds, and they're discovering new talents as well.
Wow. I feel like singing and acting and dancing just brings out joy, that even if you're not the best singer, actor, or dancer, there's just something within you that sparks this this energy. Do you find that that's what happens with you and your friends at Camp SAY?
Yeah, 100%. There's always music going on, or we're always singing, or even in our cabins, we'll just put on the Hamilton soundtrack. There's always music, and I feel that's what contributes a lot to how much fun we have there. And like you said, not all of the kids are huge, theater nerds or anything like that, but they find their own ways to engage in the activities that we do. They can rap, they can write a spoken word, and they can find their own creative passions to all share, and it culminates in a really cool performance.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I actually went to summer camp myself. I went to New Jersey Y Camps. It's a giant Jewish camp in Milford, Pennsylvania, which doesn't really make sense that a Pennsylvania camp is New Jersey Y Camps, but that's just something, a fun little tidbit. And sorry, the delay. It's great. Camp is I will always be team camp, connecting people. We still can talk to this day, and we go to Broadway shows together. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Friends for life.
Yeah, absolutely. Camp is a whole lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yes. And I see everyone commenting here. Say.org. Wonderful seeing all of your faces. Wonderful seeing your face as well, even if it's through the screen. Ashley, a lot of hearts. I feel this in my soul, especially right now when I want to do the thing and I need affirmation and the contract that in my everyday life. Thanks for sharing. So yes, I feel like having that thought, it's almost like I should write that down, or have that hanging here, that I will feel the fear and I will do that instead. Even doing these video chats sometimes are, a good SAY example is at the Paul Rudd bowling event, and I'm over there interviewing Ant-Man. What? That's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are like very fun events, and it's always good to see you there too. It's really good to have your energy there. But yeah, I mean, that's like that's a daily thing. I'm even at this stage. There are things that I still do, and that I still feel, and that I still wrestle with and push through, and it's meant to be a lifelong journey, and it can also be fun. It can also be exciting. So.
Do you find that I feel like I remember hearing this at the gala, that sometimes when you go from speaking to singing, that's part of the stutter goes away. Do you find that's true, Daniela?
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't stutter at all when I sing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who stutter like have turned to singing because like it's an easier way for them to communicate. I've been singing for my whole life before I had a stutter, and so I think I value singing so much because it's always been that like constant. Like even when I didn't stutter, like I could sing. Now I stutter, and certain things might be more difficult, giving class presentations or just having a conversation, but like at least like I can still sing, and that aspect of my voice, which is like my favorite thing to do, like that is something that I'll always have.
That I love to hear that so much. It's amazing that will you be live streaming the Hamilton? I will be viewing it. I won't be like streaming it out, but yes, I will 100% be doing that. Ella, sorry. Whenever I see something Hamilton, it's like, what, Hamilton? Yes, I will 100% be watching that at midnight here. But that's amazing that something you love to do can almost give like this superpower, right? That when you're in that singing mode, that it's like, you can't stop me here.
Yeah, 100%.
And Travis, did you find, I know you said you still, it's a lifelong struggle, but being on Broadway and when you're on tour and when you're with those companies, did you find that it was a pretty accepting community? Did you find like there were barriers that you were facing that you had to continue to deal with?
Yeah, I think that it's probably one of the most accepting communities there are around, and I certainly felt like I could be myself. I think the biggest barrier was probably just me and just how I felt about it, because ultimately, like, that determines a lot how you feel about yourself. So I think, for certainly a good portion of my music theater career, I wouldn't say that I was necessarily like hiding the fact that I stuttered, but I was certainly not advertising it. It wasn't like something that I would put out there. I felt like if it came up, I would talk about it, and if it didn't, then I just wouldn't talk about it. And I think like I've I've grown to accept it more and more, and like I feel like a lot of it is just kind of having the practice and having the words and having the confidence to like take that first step and have that conversation, and surely like those conversations came up even in the work that I did,
Right.
because that's a part of like what I bring to the stage. And so it was never like a huge secret, but I just didn't really talk about it the way that I do now, now that it's my life's work, me 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 stuttering is kind of a part of the gig. So it's not it's not strange when it happens.
And I think for a lot of people watching at home, they want to know what's the best way, if you're having a conversation with someone who stutters, what's the best way is it just to sit back and let you finish the sentence? I remember hearing something like that. How would you like to say it in your own words?
Yeah, I can share, but I would love Daniella to share if that's okay, because I'm
Please.
sure that you have a lot to share about that.
Yeah, just like you said, not finishing our sentences, not like putting pressure or like asking if we can hurry up or something like that, because you can ask, but it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, so just treating it like a normal conversation, giving respect that we should all give, regardless of how somebody is saying a message. Something that helps for me is maintaining eye contact, because then that, like, I don't feel like that person is like nervous or like uncomfortable by like looking away or something like that. So yeah, eye contact, don't finish my sentences or tell me to hurry up.
Yeah, yeah, I would echo all of that. It really is about listening, and I think like that's something that, stutter or not, we can all use a lot more of, to be able to just listen and to maybe not understand what's going on and not need to have all the answers, but to listen, and give us time and space.
Yeah. The respect, I think, is the biggest thing I'm taking away. That just like you wouldn't want anyone to finish your sentence, you wouldn't want someone to be looking off. It's just all about respect, and that's a big part of like the conversation, I feel like, in general these days, is how can we respect one another? How can we make sure that our friends are being taken care of the right way, and we're giving everyone the same amount of attention and respect? So thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's always helpful to hear it from your own words, and that's what this is all about, is hearing it from your words.
Thank you for that question too.
Of course. It's making me think of when I spoke with Alex Brightman at one of the SAY events, and Alex Brightman is one of the best. He's Beetlejuice on Broadway. He grew up having a stutter and still does, which is quite common, I hear, right? That it's not something that the way he phrased it, I think, was, some people, it's something that you always are dealing with, and some people can manage it and some people deal with it. I'm now butchering his words, which is never good. So just watch that interview, because he's much more eloquent about it. But just thinking, right, like a 2-time Tony Award nominee, speaking about that, and I didn't know, and most of the time I see him, he's singing. So that also kind of made me think of the fact that when you are singing, it has this like different element of comfort, I guess you could say. But is seeing someone like that, Daniella, having these people who join, say, events and galas and at Camp Say, does that help kind of see that it's not, it is something to be proud of yourself, and the respect that it's a thing that a lot of people deal with?
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice, I guess, especially with like Alex, who's so famous and has really like made it on like Broadway, someone who I've watched like for years, like to see that somebody can, I mean, even Travis can like make it all the way and kind of like achieve their dream while still like struggling with this. And I feel like for me, that's just like even so much more like impressive, because like they have this challenging thing, which it's very hard to deal with and to manage all your feelings, but to still be able to like achieve like what you want. It's very inspiring for everyone at Say. And beyond that, like even just the Say staff who stutters, like yes, their dream might not be to be on Broadway or anything like that, but they can still show you that like you can be like an adult functioning in society and like still have like a like happy life.
Yes. And Travis, is there anything you'd like to add with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniela said it all. It really is about providing windows and mirrors for young people in the world. For them to see a reflection of themselves in the world, and for them to see beyond the walls that we put up. To see something more. So, I think the most radical thing that high profile people can do who stutter is to live their life, and to have that be just a part of living their life in an open and honest way. And Alex is really a wonderful example of that, of someone who is, like embrace this as a part of his journey.
Yes. And I love that word journey, right? This is all just like the journey that we're going on, and there's so many different paths we can take. So thank you both for sharing. I don't know if you can hear, but my dog is like, let me in. So I'm going to go let him in for a second. Don't mind us.
All good.
Come on, Linda.
I'm so curious to know what kind of dog she has and what her dog's name is. Oh, there you are.
He's the cutest.
So we're going to turn. Hello. Is that a boxer?
There he is. Look at him.
What's his name?
Slim, and his sister is Shady. Yes, he's the best. He makes me so happy. I get so distracted just thinking about how much I love him. There it is. Okay. He's a pit bull mix. He's a rescue, so we don't 100% know like everything, but he's the best, and I love him so much.
That's great.
Yes. And I spend most of my time talking about musicals and my dog, which is probably a good combination.
There you go. Can't go wrong either way.
Yes. Do either of you have pets?
Yeah, I have a dog named Charlie. He's a toy poodle. He barked like one time during one Say thing, and now Tara, the founder of Say, brings it up every time, like every time. But yeah, it's just part of quarantine to have our dogs bark during live streams.
There you go. I have fish, so they're pretty quiet. They're pretty quiet. Although my daughters will probably, they're getting to that age where they probably want a pet. We'll see. I love dogs. We'll see how much our lives can handle. But you make room for things like that, right? As soon as you get a dog, you naturally your heart opens up, your house gets a little bigger, all that. Or at least it feels that way.
It's so true. When I live in the city, it's a little harder, and my dad has a dog, but I don't have one where I live. So I go over there and I'm like, oh, I want to pet the dog and I want to spend time. And now being out here in quarantine, it's like a dog every single day. It is, you can see it's just pure happiness. I couldn't be more pro dog. I'm allergic to cats, so I do have that feeling with them. But if cats are your thing, or fish, that's pretty cool. But yes, Daniela, that I have to tell you, if anyone finds out you have a dog, it is question number one. It's just that's the way life is now.
Yeah, he only had to bark once out of the a million Say things I've been doing during the quarantine, and it gets brought up every time.
Yes. I love that. I love to hear it. So speaking of something that you did once with Say, is you wrote a song and you sang it during the Say virtual event that we just had. And I would love to know if you'd like to sing a little something now.
Sure. Yeah, I'll sing the first verse and chorus, I guess. Okay. I can feel it right here inside. My mind is colors and it's all mine. Flowers bloom and birds will fly, but I feel stuck on the same line. Try to recall why this has to be. Open my eyes so I can see. I take a breath, but I don't breathe. Open my mouth, but I can't scream. The winds may change, the storm may end. I get close and I'm lost again. Time will end, it's changing now. I can see, but I don't know how. And I don't know how long it takes to grow. Time goes by, the winds will slow, and I'll learn how to fly.
Yay! Oh, that was amazing.
Woo! Thanks.
How does that feel performing it?
It feels good. Normally I have my piano to play while I do it. I think that was like my first time ever singing it without the piano. So a little weird. But yeah, I like that song because I feel like I wrote it just like speaking from the heart and like what I want to say, which is like a big message from Say, which is why it felt so special to perform it with them.
Oh, I love to hear that. What goes through the songwriting process for you?
For me, it's different every time. I've written a lot of songs throughout the years, and like not one of them is the same. I always write with my piano, or I just started writing on the guitar. But I'll either like just play play like random notes and see if I find a pattern that I like, and then I'll play it over and over again until I hear like a melody that I can sing on top of it. Or sometimes I'll write a song from like a conversation that I have, or a quote that inspires something in me, or just something from my everyday life, and I'll sit down and I'll say, I'm gonna write a song about this, rather than just like letting it flow. For that one, I just did like my little like piano thing, and I found something that I liked, and then I wrote half of it singing on top of it. And then when I found out I was gonna do it for the Under One Moon live stream, it wasn't even finished, so then I had to just tell myself, okay, we're gonna write a bridge and the final chorus, and we're gonna do this. And I wrote that in like the week before. So yeah, it's just really different every time.
That's phenomenal. It's amazing to see what happens under pressure, that you're like, hey, I didn't have this done, but I'm just gonna power right through, and you did such a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Yes. And Travis, when you see the Camp Say members sing or perform a poem that they wrote, anything, a spoken word, what happens for you?
Yeah. I think what's really beautiful about it is that it's kind of like unearthing something that is and has been, so deep inside these young people, and just being a part of creating a space where they can express it is really humbling, because it's like I didn't put it there. I don't think I don't know that we were able to teach Daniella anything about songwriting that she didn't know. But I think what I would hope is that we gave her a space where she had permission to truly like express it and share it and bring it to light. Daniella and I have had conversations about performing, and about performing as people who stutter, and what it can feel like to go into a space where people don't know and you're not sure if you want people to know. And just like the challenges of that, which, are real. And to think that this is not a place like where that's an issue. And to think that, Daniella, you're able to like not only write incredible songs like that, but to just kind of, have a platform like this to really talk about your incredible journey is that's what's really exciting. And just hearing things like your song and all of the creative pieces that come out of the work that happens at SAY. I think I just get excited about all of the other possibilities that are unlocked because of these experiences. It's like at the end of a SAY show, if you're performing on a stage with a bunch of strangers and you never thought that A, you'd be performing, or B, you'd be doing it in front of people you don't know. Just that sense of like accomplishment and success, like what else can you do? What else in life can you do? If you've done that, which seemed incredibly impossible, what are the other things that you maybe haven't done that, seem a lot more attainable now? And I think that's what's exciting is not just the song that you sang, Daniella, but all of the songs that will follow it and all of the creative opportunities that you will step into and not be afraid of. That's what I think about.
Daniella, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah. First, I think Travis is being modest. I've learned a lot about songwriting from SAY, and the people there are just so talented and such good songwriters. Like Noah Corman does Morning Song, which is like where SAY takes like a popular song and then like rewrites the lyrics to align with our message. And I've learned so much about writing lyrics from him. Like he does it with such ease and the lyrics are always beautiful. So I focus a lot on the lyrics of my songs to like reflect my message. And then Miranda DiPerno, she like is one of our music directors, and she is an incredible songwriter. Like I just listen to her songs like when I'm just like laying around in my house. So like being able to like work with her and talk about the more musical aspects of songs has taught me so much and allowed me to expand like even like the styles that I write in and certain like musical tips and tricks that I've learned from her. And then also just like learning from my peers as well. Like most of the kids there are really musical or like theater or like songwriting in their own way. So being able to record myself singing it and send it to like to two of my best friends from SAY and have them give me like tips or things that I can change or like fix or improve upon has been really helpful. Like whenever I write a song, like I send it to my friend Keon, and like he will like always tell me like which parts are really good and which parts like need work. So it's also just about like creating that like network of people who really know music and know songwriting, so you can also like improve yourself.
Yes, Keon and Clennell, I know them. Give a shout out. Big
Superstars. Well, thank you for those words, Daniella. That's awesome to know and hear kind of the things that you've learned, just like being in the space and working with these awesome people. Yeah, that's great to hear.
And I'm so glad that you could share so much of that, because I think people watching at home that have thought, oh, maybe I'd like to send my kid there, or if someone's watching that's thought about going to a SAY program, to Camp SAY, now they can really see the bonds that you get, the confidence that grows. Is there something that before you attended, you joined the SAY community, and now that you've been there for so long, is there something you'd like to share to some of those kids that might be interested?
Yeah, well, I think as a person who stutters, it's really easy to feel alone, and like there's no one else who shares your struggle or understands the hardships that we as people who stutter go through on a daily basis. But when you get to camp, like that all melts away because everyone's stutters, so you don't have to worry about even the subconscious things that we worry about. There's so much freedom to be ourselves and not try to, switch around words or anything to form a sentence in the easiest way possible. It's about the content of what you're saying and what you want to share with your friends. And beyond those 2 weeks, you build relationships that are going to last like an entire lifetime. And I've met my best friends through SAY because I think it's such a unique struggle that not everybody can fully comprehend, no matter how much they think they can understand. There are certain things that people just won't because they don't know how it feels. But you know that like when you like walk into camp or you go to programming and do a confident voices session, like everyone there knows how it feels and everyone there is going to support you and be willing to reach out to you during the school year if you're nervous for a presentation or if you had a rough day or someone made fun of you. It just puts into perspective who your real friends are, and like I can say 100% that I met mine through SAY.
Wow.
That it warms my heart to know that programs like SAY work because they connect people and make you feel together, and they make you feel more confident. And I feel like I talk about SAY in all of these conversations because it's when something just goes right, then you just want to share how positive that is. And that's hearing that story, Danielle, is really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm like lucky that I stutter because I get to go to SAY. Like I always think about what my life would be like if I like didn't stutter. And yeah, there would be positives to it, but like I wouldn't get this like community that like I feel so part of, and I just don't know if that would be possible if I didn't share something like this that like yeah, it's hard to deal with, but it like makes me special and it like gives me all these like automatic friends and these automatic mentors and people that I like get to connect with and to reach out to. And yeah, I think SAY, it's, you can't even like describe like the vibe and the energy that you feel when you're with so many like good people. Yeah, it's so many kind and like good-hearted people all in the same place at once.
Travis, y'all are doing something right.
I hope so. It sounds like it. Those are incredible words to hear. Yeah, and yeah, it's certainly the kind of thing that I would have loved to have had as a young kid. So I'm happy to have this experience too. I'm right there with you, Danielle. There are times where I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that this stuttering thing is happening because I'm hanging with Paul Rudd and I'm like, hanging with George Springer and traveling the country and seeing all these incredible people. And yeah, it's really cool. It's very cool.
Yes. And Daniela, something you said about being special, it makes me think of this quote from the Lightning Thief musical: "The things that make you special are the very things that make you strong." And it's so true that these things that maybe once were a hurdle, once you get over that and accept it as part of who you are, it really is a superpower, and it makes you more confident and makes you feel like, no, this is who I am. Accept me for who I am or don't, but that's a you problem because I know who I am.
Yeah, right. That's exactly like what I say all the time. Like, if I didn't stutter, like, I would just be like another like normal person from my school who's like on my cheer team and he does the school plays, but like I would never get to say that like I know Betsy Wolf and like I have like such a like good relationship with her, or that like Kelly O'Hara knows my name. Like, that's crazy. Like, that would never happen for me. Like, if I didn't stutter. And like beyond just like meeting people, like going through like having a stutter, and for a long time, like I hated it so much, but like having to deal with something like this, like you learn how to like love yourself so much more than if you like didn't have like a challenging aspect about your life.
Yeah, exactly. There, so many of the struggles make us who we are and make us stronger, because if you I think especially now during quarantine, and especially during the Black Lives Matter movement, you find out who you are, what you stand for, what your values are. And if you never struggled and you never fought for other people's rights, then that says more about you. And so I think, Travis, is there any, especially now, I'm going to bring up the Black Lives Matter movement. You're finding so much in the Broadway community how there have been things that haven't been treated the way that they should have been, and there are changes hopefully on the way. Are there any thoughts you have with that?
Yeah, I think it really is a profound time in history where people are being challenged to take a stand, and it's quite amazing to see large corporations that are built on making money choosing to put people first, and to take a stand, and to speak out against the things that have been wrong, the things that are a part of our lives, and our culture. Um, Speaking openly and honestly about racism and police brutality, and all of the things that we don't want to talk about, but that are such a strong undercurrent of everything that we do. And it really is a time where people are having to take a stand, and more so having to listen to one another, and perhaps be uncomfortable. That is a part of the healing process, and I'm hopeful that this will bring about a lot of change. And it's certainly starting the hard conversations, which I really appreciate. And it has also reignited those hard conversations in me as well. The things that I've chosen not to speak out about, the things that I've had to keep quiet about, the experiences that I have. And we've talked about this in programming. Stuttering is what brings us all together. But I think bringing our whole selves is what will keep us together. So I'm interested in more than just your stutter. I'm interested in your hopes, your dreams, your fears, your struggles, your whole being. And sometimes that's a hard thing to talk about and think about. But that's what you bring to every situation, is all of it. So I appreciate the conversations, and I'm certainly not afraid of them. And I'm ready to do like the uncomfortable work and to listen and be heard in a new way.
Beautifully said. Wow, I love that. And listening, that's so much of the conversation we're having today, is giving people that space to speak openly and to listen. And I feel like they do go hand in hand with the respect aspect that Daniella brought up before, is just giving people that open space. Do you find like the kids, and especially if you are at camp, feel like it is this open space to talk about anything and everything?
I think so. I think that the invitation is certainly there. We're all about like invitations and not expectations. Mm-hmm. So I think like it's so interesting when you talk about, for instance, the camp experience. It varies so much, and all of it is valid. I think there are kids who meet other kids who stutter, and they want to talk about that a lot, and they want to talk about all of the things that nobody else understands, and that they've been wanting to talk about for a while. And then you meet kids who just want to play basketball. That's what they want to do, and they want to do it in a way where they don't have to think about how they sound. Mm-hmm. They can just be free to not think about stuttering and to not talk about it if they don't want to. And both are valid, So I think just creating the invitation and the space and allowing people to have their own experience is important. And I think at a time like this, it's about giving people permission to bring their whole selves. That they don't have to just bring the stuttering part of them to a creative process or to an interaction, but they can bring their whole lives, and we can welcome all of it.
Yes, bring your whole selves. Danielle, is there anything you'd like to add with that?
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely some times where my friends and I talked about stuttering, but we mostly just talked about like whatever we were feeling that day, or we talked about the like food at camp, or talked about a whole bunch of different things. Like Travis said, stuttering is just one part of us. So like we didn't, constantly like just talk about stuttering. Like we were able to form friendships beyond that and talk about things that we would talk about with our fluent friends. But I think having that option to talk about stuttering and not feeling like you have to hide it, or feeling like it's going to make the conversation uncomfortable, or like even make jokes about our stutter that only we can understand. So yeah, it's just things like that. Like it's having the option and the freedom to talk about stuttering, but like not feeling like we're forced to have our entire relationships just based around one aspect of ourselves.
Beautifully said. Yes. Bring your whole self, right? That's like the best thing we can do. Once you truly feel like yourself in every aspect, you just feel so much more comfortable and alive. So I'm so happy to hear that that's the space given with SAY.
Yeah, and it's really cool to hear that, Daniella. I don't think that like we always hear, the experiences that our participants have. So it's kind of cool to hear that
too. I'm so happy I could provide that space for the two of you. And I was wondering, Travis, if you would feel comfortable singing a little something for us now.
Yeah, sure. So this is a song I think that's apropos for any time, but particularly where we are now. And it's one of my favorite artists, so I'm going to sing it. I was born by the river in a little tent Oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he wise up, knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, every time that I thought I wouldn't last for long, now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Hey.
Yes.
I think my daughters were knocking on the door. Like, what's going on in there?
That was phenomenal. Wow. Oof, that just hit me with all the feels.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank both of you for singing. It's, you know, I know it's maybe not the most comfortable thing to do over a video, and it really meant something to me and to everyone watching at home. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Awesome. So this hour is winding up. It is crazy how quickly it's happened. And I always like to ask if there's anything coming up that you'd like to talk about, or anything that you came in today really wanting to share with everyone. So Daniella, let's start with you.
Nothing specific that I can think of, other than that I want to thank Travis and Say for always providing me a platform to say what I want to say, and even just including me on this interview right now is such a cool experience that I never would have gotten if I didn't stutter, if I wasn't a part of Say. So just thank you to both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thank you, Shoshana, for inviting us, for always being a champion for the work that we do. And if anyone would like more information about SAY, you can visit our website, www.say.org, or you can send an email to me, travis@say.org, and I can share with you all of the upcoming events that we have, not only for the rest of the year, but into the next. We're all virtual, but we're here as a community and as a resource for young people who stutter. So if you have any questions or want to know more about it, please reach out. And just to your audience as a whole, and to the world, if you will, one of the most powerful things that you can do for people who stutter is to give them time and space to say what they want to say, and trust that it's worth the wait.
Yes, well, thank you both for sharing so much with us today. It's certainly warmed my heart, and I think I've been noticing in the comments, like, it's also very educational, because sometimes people are afraid to ask what's the best thing to do. And just knowledge is power with so much of what's going on today. And just knowing the best way to respect one another is what's really going to help us as a community, as a world. So I thank both of you so much. I thank everyone for watching. I do want to give a shout out that the morning songs on the Instagram are always really fun and great. Those are 10 a.m. Eastern time. So because I'm over in Washington State, I usually check them out later. So I'm glad that they're usually on the Insta story or IGTV, as the cool kids know. But it's something that if you can tune in live is even better, and if you tune in afterwards, it's just as phenomenal. So y'all should check that out.
Yeah, actually, our next one is tomorrow, Wednesday. We're doing them weekly. So Wednesday, at say.org on Instagram, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always have a morning song to get everyone to get everyone's day started on the right note. So tune in if you can.
Yes, they're always my favorite.
Yay. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm going to take an extra minute or so. Danielle, has there been any specific morning song that's specifically been your favorite?
My favorite, they've all been incredible. Krista Rodriguez's morning song is like the one that's coming to mind. I'm just obsessed with her. I didn't even know she was involved with Say until I joined that Instagram live. So it was really cool seeing her sing, and the song was just beautiful, and the lyrics that Noah wrote were just so good. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Amazing. Yes, I love Krista Rodriguez. I love the words Noah writes. Just phenomenal. Travis, any for you?
Oh, probably anything Stevie Wonder. I'm a huge Stevie Wonder fan, so that's like top of my list for any song that Noah throws out there. If it's a Stevie Wonder tune, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go. Amazing. So I want to invite everyone to consider donating if you can at say.org. They do really amazing work as you've seen today. So please consider that. It's always, I know it's a tough time right now, but even $1, $5, $1,000, who's to say? It really goes a long way. And then if you like what you're seeing here, I also have a Patreon. So you can head over to patreon.com/bwaySHO and join the Showtrons. We have monthly video chats. You get exclusive access to content. And it's just a really fun community. So if that's something also that interests you, pretty cool. You can always subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I have a Say playlist that I created that has all the interviews, including this one that I've already put in there. It has Chris Jackson singing This Is Me from the Say Gala, which was just phenomenal. And the other conversations that I've told y'all about in this conversation. So with all of that being said, thank you both so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.